What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And it's a lot, let me tell you. But anyway, today, I actually have the day off. That's the reason why I'm like out here and running around doing my errands. Right now, I'm doing the laundry, so I'm waiting for that joint to finish washing so I can throw them in the dryer. But anyway, you know, all that exciting, domesticated type stuff. But anywho, what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. All right. Raising sons. All right. I feel like, you know, there should be more of a discussion that men have about raising sons today. We should talk more about this because it seems like I was saying on the last video, it seems like manhood is something that is constantly being challenged, questioned, even under attack. You know, so I sometimes wonder what it must be like for our young boys out here who have to grow up this way, who have to have everything that they are interested in attacked. You know, whether it's the Boy Scouts, we need to have girls in the Boy Scouts. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of it being called the Boy Scouts. I thought the Boy Scouts was supposed to be about man building. Why would girls want to be man building? You know what I mean? It's kind of like female bodybuilding. I like female bodybuilding. I think that it's wonderful that a woman, I know a woman who competes, and it's very admirable, what she does, or how she's built up her body. There are times when, the man in me asks her, oh, you need any help with that? And she's like, I got it. No, let me stop. She's quite feminine. She hasn't gone like over the edge, where they just they could take off their top and they'd have the same thing a man would have, But, yeah, so anyway, there's nothing wrong with all that stuff, but all I'm saying is that sometimes it could go a little bit too far. And that Boy Scout thing, to me, is an example of that. There are so many things that are involved with a boy in his rite of passage. A boy's journey into puberty and adolescence is a very, very distinct thing from girls, and girls are distinct from boys. That's why they call it the birds and the bees. We can't travel that road together. Sooner or later, men and women go separate ways, so I just feel like the way of the boy into manhood is being made a lot more complicated than it should be. There are more obstacles than many of us had to face. I know last year, I dropped my son off at a before school program, and they had a habit of pulling me into the office. Sir, we want to talk to you about your son. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Well, he got into a little something with, another kid. And, they were all at fault. All these boys, they are all so rough and everything. And they were just pushing each other. I'm like, what? Pushing each other? Pushing each other? Do you people really not know what manhood is? And that's the danger of the way we're raising our boys today. That's the danger of not being able to present manhood unapologetically, because women are starting to lose their ability, and even worse, men are starting to lose their ability to know what real manhood is. And so you have men more than anything, which is so disturbing, who write these hit piece articles talking about toxic masculinity, when it's like, bro, you're a man. Do you not know what manhood is? Did you not come through puberty and adolescence? Do you not know what goes on inside of a man's heart and a man's mind? How in the world can a man say that another man is toxic or dangerous or a terrorist or anything just for exhibiting the attributes of manhood? It kind of reminds me of when my pops busted me when I was looking at porno mags, you know what I mean? And he found out that I was looking at porno mags. And I remember I got a whooping for it. I'm like, Dad, why are you whipping me? I am coming into my own. I was just coming. But anyway, here I was becoming a man, and you would think that at this point my father would see the porno mags, and he would see me all passed out in my room that night, and he would say, oh, son, let's have a talk. My boy, he's becoming a man. But no, I got a whipping. Oh, and the what really bugged me about that is that they were his porno mags. I found his stash. Maybe that's what I got the whipping for. I don't know. Because my mom, you know, they found me, you know, I was passed out, you know, I was asleep, and, you know, they were knocking on my door, and then they came into my room. And by the way, if there are any women, there are any young mothers in the audience or whatever, once your son gets to be a certain age, I say probably from 10 on, do not just walk into a young boy's room. Don't do it. If you do it, you might not like what you find. You might end up in a fetal position later on in the shower, like in the crying game. Don't do it, all right? Because what a man has to do is what he has to do. Self-discovery is very natural for a young boy. Why I got beat about it, I don't know, but let me move on. But anyway, like I was saying, it's this honesty that we don't have when we talk about men. We need men to be aggressive. We need men to be alphas. You know, it almost reminds me of this old episode of Star Trek where Captain Kirk got split into I think it got split into two. All right. It might have been more than that. My trekkers let me know. But I believe Captain Kirk was split into two, and one was passive. You know, one Kirk was passive. He was soft, you know, and the other Kirk was like super aggressive, you know, and he was mean and he was tough. And I remember him saying something like, at some point he was like, I need my anger, you know, I need my aggression, you know, and every man needs that. They need to have some fire inside of them. They need to have some aggression inside of them. And it plays out in every area of endeavor that he will ever try in his life, that he will ever use in his life, whether it's a job, when he's going after a job, whether it's providing for his family. A man needs to be able to dig down and get to that fire that's inside of him, whether it's getting that woman that he wants, because there's this old saying called, may the best man win. And if a man sees or is attracted to a woman that he wants, all right, and she's worth anything, then he's going to have to deal with competition. There'll be another man out there also who also wants that woman, and it's may the best man win. You know what I mean? So it's like that man has to say to himself, listen, I have things inside of me that I want to express. You know what I mean? So it's like he's going to have to express his strength. He's going to have to express his prowess. He's going to have to express his swag. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's just how it is. Meanwhile, the woman is on the other side, and she's using her arms, and she's using her legs, and she's using her style, and she's using her side step, you know. But men have a different way. You know what I mean? It's like men have to be aggressive. Men have to be strong. And it's like you want to see a bunch of men in this society crying. You want to see a bunch of men more effeminate. You want to see a bunch of men that's bumbling idiots. But no, that's not what a woman wants deep down inside. In my experience with the women that I've dealt with, they will claim that they want a man to be a little bit more sensitive. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do consider myself to be a sensitive man. I am. I truly am. Everyone who knows me knows this. But at the same time, you also want a man who can take control when you need to. I remember one time my ex-wife, you know, the funny thing about it is that she will still say to me, because we are such good friends, she'll still say to me that one of the things that she appreciates about me is that I will tell her at a certain point. I will actually tell her about what it is that she should consider, you know, what it is that she should do, you know. And she says, sometimes I need you to be strong. You know, I need you to be strong with me or firm with me. This is something that I've learned with other women that I've dealt with as well. They might give you pushback. They might fight with you. But if you're a good man, then she should be able to depend upon you to direct her in the right way, because men can't be given to emotional outbursts the same way as women. This is something that I always tell my son. I always talk to him about that too. You can't do what you see your mom doing. You can't be throwing stuff when you get mad. You can't be yelling. You can't be screaming and crying and stuff like that in extreme circumstances, I'm saying. You don't just go around being crazy. But, you know, some women can be emotional, and they can be prone to emotional outbursts. I told my son, that's not the way to go. That's not the way a man behaves. Fuck around and end up face down on the concrete with some cop with his knee in your neck. You know, I looked at, you know, these situations of traffic stops. You know, Sandra Bland, who was it, a couple of years ago, got pulled over by the cops. She ended up being found dead in her cell. They say she hung herself. People say that she was killed and everything. And, we'll never know. But one thing I do know is that if there were a man in that car who was worth shit, he would have directed her to shut the fuck up. It's like sometimes you have to be able to tell a woman, shut the fuck up. But only if you're a good man, okay? If you're not a good man, there's no such thing as just telling a woman, hey, just shut the fuck up. No. When it's for her own good, you might want to tell her be quiet, okay? Even if it's not shut the fuck up, okay? Don't go somewhere and say that, oh, Mark said that you should be telling women to shut the fuck up. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes you need to help her to get a hold of herself, is all I'm saying. So it's like building men. Where am I? I'm over 10 minutes. All right, let me wrap this up. Besides, I'm sure my clothes are finished washing. But anyway, like I was saying, we have to think about how we're raising our boys. We have to think about how we're preparing them for the future, how we're preparing them for relationships, and if we're preparing them to be husbands. I talked about this on a video before. So, it's just something to be mindful of, guys. It's like raising a boy should not be something that we act like we're the first generations to do it. Men have always been men. Boys have always been boys. And that's just how it is. It's like you have to accept that. Nobody is perfect, no matter what they say. So men have to be rough around the edges. We have to do the things that we have to do, man, because life is a rough business. All right. So each of us, we do what we need to do. Each of us, we play our roles. And there is a place for gender roles. Okay. So anyway, guys, let me get in here because time is of the essence, and I will get back to you later. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. And as always, if you like what you're hearing or what you see, and who wouldn't, then like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.